Hello mountain bikers, welcome to the first gear show of 2022. Here's to hoping that this year will see the world start returning to normal, even though we know that the bike industry won't look like itself for some time yet. We're pushing ahead undeterred though, committed as ever to bringing you the best news and reviews on the internet. And to kick things off in style, we've prepared a loaded program for you today, with new shoes, pedals, rain gear, and even fork decals on the menu. But before we get into all of that, time for our customary roundup of industry news with a month in a minute. Let's dig in. YT sharpened up their trail bike even more with the introduction of a limited edition shorter travel uncaged model of the Izzo. Atherton Bikes is finally ready to ramp up production and has now opened up ordering of their custom bikes via their website. Antidote has revamped their flagship Dark Matter DH race bike, going to 29-inch wheels and making a plethora of other changes. This thing is a threat to your wallet, but nothing less than a feast for your eyes. French lifestyle clothing brand Animos has launched their first collection of riding wear. Seven Protection has a brand new glove range with 4 models ranging from ultra thin to winter ready. Bike Yoke entered the grip market with their all-new Grippy, featuring an eccentric design with strategically placed variable thickness rubber. P&W Components has jumped into the flat pedal market with the all-new Loam. We'll have a review for you in the next episode, or you can head to our site to read about our first impressions. Stance has introduced an all-new hub equipped with magnetic pawls, delivering just 1.66 degrees of engagement. The hub is based on the Project 321 design and is said to have less friction than a traditional spring-based design. Gorilla Gravity has launched rear triangle kits made from their revved carbon for those who want to upgrade their rear ends. And to conclude, SRAM continues to grow their portfolio of brands with the acquisition of bike computer manufacturer Hammerhead. Wow, how about that antidote, eh? Pretty special. Now, let's move on to the reviews. If you've been riding flat pedals for a long time, you'll not so fondly recall that for many years it seemed as though we'd be forever condemned to choosing between good grip and dry feet. Well, those days are well and truly behind us now, as 510 has created a wet weather version of their Trailcross shoe that will have you wondering just how you got by without it in the first place. Building on the Trailcross platform that was introduced in 2020, the Trailcross GTX adds a waterproof Gore-Tex membrane to the upper, as well as a neoprene gaiter to help keep mud and debris out of the shoe. Just like on the regular Trailcross, there's a stiff midsole for pedaling support, coupled with a good amount of toe flex for added hiking versatility. A non-marking Stealth Phantom sole ensures good grip, while also making sure you'll leave no trace should you wear them inside. On the trail, we noted that the Trailcross GTX feels a little bit sturdier than the regular Trailcross, which is a good thing in our opinion. Where the Trailcross is very light and breathable, the GTX is a little bit more confidence-inspiring. This also translates to a more secure feeling in action, with the foot held more securely in place inside the shoe. Sizing is consistent with other 510 models. Grip is absolutely next level, just as you would expect from a Stealth rubber sole. The hiking comfort is still there as well, making this an ideal shoe for backcountry adventures and trail building missions in the winter. So what about that waterproof membrane then? Wow is the term that comes to mind. You can literally stand around with your feet submerged in water and not get wet, which means you'll be able to spend all day out riding in the rain without having to suffer from cold, wet feet. It also means you'll never have to wait for the shoe to dry out, as it doesn't really get wet at all to begin with. You will notice some condensation build up inside, which will leave your socks a bit humid at the end of the ride, but that never translated to feeling cold for us, quite the opposite. Your little piggies will be eternally grateful if you do a lot of your riding in inclement weather. Now that your feet are all dry, what about the rest of you? Iron has just launched an Outerwear Collection featuring a rain jacket, a pant, and some gloves, and we've put it all to the test to see what gives. The shelter jacket is constructed from a 3-layer fabric with bonded seams and waterproof zippers to ensure minimal leakage. A self-adjusting hood is meant to be worn over a half-shell helmet. There are zippered vents under the arms, and the cuffs have been given an angled cut to provide more coverage towards the outside of the hand. There are 2 small elastic loops that can be used to sink down the lower hem, but other than that, the jacket is made to measure, so to speak, and it's also quite light. The Shelter softshell pant is not fully waterproof, rather it was made to withstand the occasional rain shower and mud splatter from the trail. It's constructed from a mix of 4-way stretch fabric and heavier-duty abrasion-resistant patches in the seat area, as well as around the inside of the shin. There are 2 zippered pockets, one of which features an extra internal phone compartment made out of neoprene for a little extra protection. There are also 2 zippered vents on the outside of the thighs, as well as zippers at the bottom of the hems to allow you to put on and remove the pants without taking your shoes off. A pair of Velcro straps provide adjustability around the waist. The Bike TS is made from dry-release fabric, a blend of polyester and cotton that retains much of the softness and comfort of cotton, but dries out a lot faster and does not hold moisture in the same way that cotton does. The jacket runs a bit on the tight side. Ian recommended we size up, and we're glad we did. This tester typically wears a size L in most brands, and the Shelter jacket in XL was perfect. Not too tight, not too flappy. The waterproof fabric is very soft to the touch on the inside, and the lightweight helps the jacket make itself forgotten. Water will pearl off it easily, and you'll stay dry on the inside, even in a prolonged downpour. The jacket also breathes surprisingly well. Sure, there'll be a small amount of moisture buildup at the top of a long climb, but even that evaporates quickly after you stop pedaling. The cut works really well on the bike, and the jacket never feels bulky or like it would get in your way. The self-adjusting hood functions exactly as advertised, and the diagonal shape of the cuffs is also a useful detail. The shelter pant runs true to size around the waist, while the inseam is among the longer we've tested. Those who usually complain about riding pants leaving their ankles bare will be well served here. The cut works great on the bike, and there is plenty of room for knee pads without the pants feeling too loose or baggy. The overall feeling is light, but the construction is confidence-inspiring, and the addition of the abrasion-resistant patches in the seat and inside shin area bodes well for longevity. The shelter is not fully waterproof, and the DWR treatment wore off pretty quickly on our pair. Still, the pant doesn't get too clingy when wet, but it would not be the first choice if it's going to rain a lot. Think of this one more as a comfortable option for bike park days or any kind of riding where you want the full leg coverage and extra mud resistance without needing a full-on waterproof fabric. Note that the DWR coating can be renewed as required, which will boost wet weather performance. If you've never tried riding in a dry release jersey before, you need to get with the program. These newer fabrics are a full departure from those shiny polyester shells of years gone by, and we can't say we miss those one bit. Dry release feels just like your favorite soft cotton shirt, but unlike pure cotton, it will not turn into a cold and wet rag that never dries out as soon as it gets exposed to a bit of moisture, internal or external. Nothing ruins a ride quite like cold fingers, so Ion also developed a new winter glove to keep your mitts toasty as the temperature drops. The Haze Amp is an insulated glove with a twist. It features an integrated rain cover that can be deployed to ward off more insistent aquatic attacks. On the trail, we found the glove runs small. As is often the case with insulated gloves, you may well need to size up. It did a decent job of keeping our fingers warm, although we would have liked it to be a bit more waterproof. When it really started pouring down, even the rain cover was overwhelmed, which kind of defeats the purpose. The glove remained warm though, and the two-finger design of the rain cover does mean that the fingers can share warmth, which will help over the course of a long, windy ride. With all this talk of rain and cold weather, maybe you feel like brightening up your ride a bit. If you're on Fox suspension, they've just made that a little bit easier for you with the launch of their all-new Decal kit for forks and shocks. Available in 11 different colors, ranging from Super Stealth Black to Pistachio and Root Beer, these new options should match a lot of the popular hues on the market right now. The decals are super high quality and easy to manipulate. Just work from the middle towards the edges to make sure you don't capture any unsightly bubbles, and take care to align each side properly. The fork decals feature a split in the backing paper to make it a bit easier to find the middle of the stanchion. A single kit covers forks from the 32 to the 40 of model years 2021 and onwards, and most of the popular recent shocks. When Raceface launched the original Atlas pedal in 2014, there was plenty to be impressed with, although we noted at the time that the compact layout could feel a little bit small under your feet, and that it fell just short of the class leaders in terms of outright grip. There were also some durability concerns with that pedal, which is something that Raceface has been wanting to address. Enter the 2022 version, all new from the ground up. The new version looks familiar, but there are many changes to highlight. First of all, Raceface has gone with a completely different axle system, built around one large inboard bearing and a wide outboard IGUS bushing. The axle is now secured on the inside of the pedal via a large flat flange on the axle that is held in place with a flat and wide nut, equipped with the seal to keep water and dirt out of the internals. The axle has also been updated to provide a little bit more space inboard, which means that the new pedal will play nice with crank boots as well. The new Atlas is a few millimeters longer and 5 millimeters wider than its predecessor, while retaining the same thickness and concavity. The extra real estate also means that the pins can be spread out around the perimeter of the pedal. The leading edges of the Atlas are heavily chamfered to allow the pedal to glance off trailside obstacles as much as possible, rather than hang up. The now even longer pins bolt in from the back, which is a good way to make sure they can be removed even when damaged or snapped clean off. And they can be tuned in height by placing washers behind them. One thing is for certain, don't let these vicious little creatures get too close to your shins. On the trail, the new Atlas takes both grip and feel to a new level, as those extra 5 millimeters of space have really made a significant difference. The foot instantly finds a comfortable spot, and because there's a bit more room between the pins now, they seem to work even better. The effective concavity, measured from the top of the pins to the lowest part of the middle of the pedal, is good. And again, because of the greater width of the pedal body, the shoe has more room to really sink into the middle of the pedal. The bearing bulge on the inside is not very wide, and we did not experience it getting in the way of our foot placement at all. Those who like to really have their feet super close to the crank arms may find that they touch it ever so slightly, but all in all, it's well contained. This pedal is very confidence-inspiring both in the wet and the dry, and it has performed equally well with several different shoes so far. We've only had the pedal available to us for a few weeks, but the new design of the spindle leads us to believe that the durability issues that plagued the original version have been laid to rest now. If that does indeed turn out to be the case, the new Atlas looks set to challenge the best. Well done, Raceface. Alright then, that's the end of the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And until next time, happy trails.